to improve this is good for us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Hans. Do you have questions? Yeah, we have 2 questions.
Thank you, Mr. Rains. This is very informative, and I think it sums it all. We've been waiting for this. Actually, I've been waiting for this. But I'm getting confused a little bit, so help me to put things in sequence.
Sure.
Now, the government, the leadership has a certain issue. They want to address this through innovation. So they will cascade this as per the campaign, and they put it down on the shop floor. Each department has a contribution to this cause, but yet each department has its own cause in innovation in order to speed up the process or whatever, in order to enhance their process.
Right.
So this is based on a predetermined environment which has been already created in order to foster innovation, because this has to be pre-made before. So the leadership it has the cause, and then all the input department, because you confused me on the department, because before we said that it is not a departmental issue, it's a global culture. So after this, the leadership makes this, it will ask for all the department to pitch in order to be able to foster the required cause through innovation.
Right.
This is like the overall, or there is some other agendas in terms of strategies?
Okay, so I mean, it's not in department. This means that this was, to my understanding, focusing or pointing to the question of innovation culture. So if you have an innovation department, the innovation department as such cannot solve the problem that the other departments might not be innovative. So from which we have been arriving at the conclusion that the innovation needs to happen in all of the departments. So an innovation department can help to organize this. I'm not saying that an innovation department is not a good idea, but the innovation department is not doing the innovation. They can only organize the innovation, which needs to be in all the other departments.
What I'm asking is that they're all together on one single cause.
Yeah.
Which has been fed by leadership, right?
Right.
So they are all contributing to the same cause.
Absolutely. I mean, I think it's the cause is first of all that the leadership is sponsoring or is covering the innovation requirements of the organization. I mean, if the organizations are innovative by, for example, creating ideas, but they don't have the sponsorship, it doesn't work. But if the leadership is there and also the sponsorship is there, but there is no productivity, innovation, productivity in the department, it also doesn't work. So both needs to be there. It needs to work together. But once you have established that, you still need to organize the process. And the process can happen in single departments, but it can also happen as in a process which is combining the departments. And I'm pretty sure you will need both. You certainly will have requirements where the single departments will drive their own campaigns, their own innovation processes, because it's very specifically. But there will be also requirements where you need that the departments are working together. So, for example, if the department which is responsible for the public view or for the public services wants to invent something new, they need the support of the IT department, because they need to have the technology. So this is an example where the departments have to work together and also maybe be innovative together. So that's you have innovation certainly on very different levels. Of course, we want to have always a big vision, it's clear, but it is also, you have also innovation processes which are running on a lower level, on a more specified level. And that's the reason you can have different campaigns which also have different complexity attributes. It can be super simple, but it can also be very complex.
Just wanted to mention, there was one slide which you showed was about innovation leadership, and the example was Steve Jobs.
Yeah.
I just want to bring to attention over here the company called GoTech. Now, it is the most innovative company since 1956 when it was established. And the reason it is most innovative is because the culture is innovative. It is not led by any one single leader.
Yeah.
So I think we've got to keep that in perspective that, if the leader goes, the innovation doesn't go. To develop that kind of a culture.
Yeah, and it's maybe, I do not want to say that the culture is represented by Steve Jobs. It's more the other way around. The culture was there. So what I want to say with this slide is that the global community was already having the technology and also the kind of culture to produce something new. But it was a certain level of leadership required to bring it to that point and to this success which happened.
Yeah. Yes. Ahmed Tinay, founder of Talent Hub. I would like to thank you for a very informative presentation. My interest is really in how to manage innovators, because we know that breakthrough innovations are generally disruptive, and innovators themselves are hard to manage. So how can we put in structure to a group of people who usually make a big contribution, to innovation, while by their very nature they are not easy to tame? Thank you.
Right. So what you address is basically a hen-egg problem. So if you have not the culture to innovate, you need to change the culture. The question is, how do you change the culture? So I believe that if you organize innovation, that it leads to a cultural change. And that the cultural change is then over time also fostering, of course, the innovation process. With other words, if you live in a culture in which innovation is not naturally happening, you can change that by organizing innovation, by making it more attractive, make it more common, connected to KPIs, for example. That's if an organization is supposed to be innovative and you are explicitly asking for this, you're asking for contributions, but everyone is overloaded anyway already, and the contribution to the innovation would be on top of that, is maybe even has to happen in overtime or in free time. Some organizations are saying, oh, why don't you do it on the weekend? If you have a great idea, do it on the weekend. Yeah, put it into our system on the weekend. So this is not going to happen for everyone, because people are very busy at the weekends. And they also thinks partly, great idea, but are you kidding me? Because I'm already working that hard. Why should I do it on the weekend? So what you can, in this case, do is you can make a decision, and leadership comes here in again. You can say everyone is getting 5% of his work time for innovation. And beside your normal KPIs, you also define KPIs which are connected to innovation. And that's turning it around. So you organize innovation in a way that it's changing the culture. Because in that moment, everyone is kind of getting used to it, and it gets also a habit in the whole work culture. So you first need to organize it, and then you can change the culture. You can also change culture just by information, but if you really, I mean, that works, but only in such cases in which it's very, very, very exciting. But you need to create a kind of incentive which is stronger than just interest. That's our experience, and that can be, for example, done by such an organizational process. Yep.
This slide also hurts my attention when you presented it first. I think we have a confusion between visionary and leadership. I can say Steve Jobs was visionary because he's the subject matter expert of technology, and he was on the head of this entity. But leadership, I don't think so, is Steve Jobs. I think the best example is Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid, when he announced 2 years ago about smart government, when he said, I need all government services. This is a policy maker and decision maker. This is the leadership. I need all government services to be done by this device. Anytime, anywhere. This is a leadership.
Yeah, I would say, I think we are not very, very far away from each other. And we also discussed the difference between vision and mission. I would say vision is the starting point. If you go into execution, you make your vision your mission. And if you want to accomplish your mission and make it successful and go through all the odds which you face, you need a certain level of leadership as well. Right? Because, I mean, one thing is clear. I mean, Steve Jobs' job wasn't easy. I mean, he has been forcing the whole ecosystem in which he was living to deliver the quality and also the features which he was asking for these devices. And the technology was, in principle, available. But to create this quality, all these little details which were on an iPhone which had never been done before, and also create this ecosystem of application writers and all these kind of things. A ton of hard work, and which required really, really extreme determination to really do this. And I think that's why I call this leadership, because he was the one who was pushing this through. And we know from his biography that he could be a pain, you know. I mean, he could be very tough with his people when he was not satisfied, but he did it because he wanted to accomplish the mission that this is really something new which was never reached before in terms of quality and features.
Thank you, Hans. I agree with Dr. Ahmed about the leadership. Of course, it's undeniable for Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid, and he's really forward-thinking in how he's driving Dubai on the global map. It's very forward-thinking.